welcome back to the Stoners Roundtable podcast. And this is going to be kind of not my usual thing here on YouTube. I should have been more considerate and should have been realized that not a lot of people listen to Spotify. Not a lot of people listen to iHeartRadio. Not a lot of people listen to podcasts, period. I should have realized that when the other day I was asked by somebody I know here in my hometown, what my podcast is about, where they can find it, and can I do a video on YouTube doing a little bit more explanation as to what it's about. Generally, I've always said I wanted to keep the two separate. This is my gameplay channel here on YouTube. I do my Skyrim, as you saw in my last video, my Planet Side, the Terminator. You get it. This is my gameplay channel. For all my other stuff, my paranormal stuff, I try to keep it on Spotify and iHeartRadio, all them other places. But I should have realized some people out there don't listen to those, and so in order to spread the word and give a general idea about what the other part of my show is, I'm going to break it down on my YouTube channel once again and go a little bit more in depth and try to explain it better and give you an example about what the show is about and some of the things I would like to talk about. So let me start from the beginning. I want to say it was probably 2008 when I come up with the idea that I wanted to do my own little radio show. Now, I knew a person who worked at a local radio station in Hobbs, New Mexico, where I was living at the time. They said they would have an opening for a late night talk show on the radio. Only thing is, I would have to go through the training and get my certifications, my license. No problem. I started to do that. It's almost finished. And then January of 2009, I end up getting kicked in the head, the steel toe boot, and yeah, everything went south after that. So, I had to go through therapy. You get the idea. Just couldn't do it at the time. Now, fast forward all these years later, and podcasts come out. And I thought, what a great idea to do my little talk show with a podcast. At the time I thought about this, I didn't have a way to do it. Once I was able to do it, I started putting together. So, in a way, this is a dream from 2008 that I had that I would like to make, come true. And I'm trying my best. That being said, the Stoners Roundtable podcast is not just a roundtable podcast for stoners. It's a podcast for those who want to share their experiences, not just in gaming, but with the paranormal, I will say. I know some people are going to say, are there podcasts that already do this? Yeah, but how many podcasts are there that actually let the average person like me talk about these things? Most of your podcasts, they deal with experts and professionals, this, that, the other. I want to put them to the side, and I want to bring in average Joe and average Jane like me and give their thoughts. What do you believe about the cosmos? What do you believe about God? What do you believe about ancient history? What do you believe about Atlantis? Believe about the whole Bigfoot thing, this, that, and the other. I want to hear from the average person. So that's why I did this podcast. Now, as an example of some of the things I want to talk about, I'll go through a couple of them here right quick. My first episode, I talked about a subject, and some of you who've grown up with me over the years here in my little hometown, y'all have heard me discuss this before, so you know what I'm talking about. You know, for a long time, I've always heard people say, why does God let bad things happen? You know, for a long time, I thought the same thing. Why does God let bad things happen? You know, and then in 2019, when I found out I was a father and whatnot, and I had a child, I had to start thinking like a father. And I asked myself that question, why does God let bad things happen? And I don't know what it was, but it was out of nowhere. It's like an answer just popped in my head. Because it's not his mess to clean up. Where did that come from? That's all I could think, is where did it come from? I thought about the answer. It's not his mess to... Oh, I'm trying to think like an adult, like a parent. Oh, that makes a little bit more sense to me. Let me put it to you this way. As a parent, if our children have a messy bedroom, is it the parent's job to clean up the bedroom, or is it the child's? My answer, it's the child's. They made the mess. They should be the ones to clean it up. Okay, now, put that context with God. God is a parent. He created us. We are his children. The earth, the world we live in, is our bedroom. We've made a mess of our bedroom. Now, is it God's responsibility to clean up our mess that we made? No, not exactly. We cause the problems. We cause the wars. We cause the bad stuff on innocent people. This, that, the other. It's not God's mess. It's our mess. We're the ones who should have to clean it up, not God. And that's what I believe God's doing. He is taking the role of a parent, and he is showing us a form of tough love. As an example, I'm not portraying, I'm just saying this is what God is probably doing. I'm not saying I'm God when I say this, but this is probably a scenario. God looks down on the earth. He hears this cries, God, why do you let these bad things happen? Whoa, hold on here. Yes, I am the Lord thy God. I am all loving, I'm all powerful. I love you, children, and yes, I could make all of this go away. But it's not my mess. I'm not the one that caused it. I'm not the one who should clean it up. Humanity is the one who should clean it up. You caused it. I'm not the one who caused it. Yes, I'm all powerful, I can make it go away, but what lesson would you learn if I did it for you? See what I'm saying? God wants us to do some things on our own. We told God at some point, hey, we're grown up, we're mature, we can handle things on our own. Yeah, look at the mess we're in now. We can handle ourselves just fine. Really? No. It's not God's responsibility to clean up our mess. It's our responsibility to clean up our own shit stains. That's part of probing my twisted little mind, what else do I like to talk about? Do I believe that there was once a lost ancient civilization called Atlantis? Yes, I do. Was it called Atlantis? It may have been called something else by many different other civilizations in the ancient past. Who knows? But for me, I believe that everybody is searching for the capital city, if it ever existed, the wrong way. Yes, I believe it existed, but I also believe there's a chance it may not existed, so I'm 50-50. If it did exist, the way everybody should be going about trying to find it is not to find the capital city, the famous city made by famous by Plato. Stop looking for the capital. Go back and reread the actual word. It says there were 10 kingdoms, with Atlantis being the capital of those kingdoms. You have Atlantis and you have 9 other kingdoms. 7 or 9. Some say 9, some say 10. I think in the actual book written by Plato, I think it was 10. I'll have to look it up and be sure. I don't take that at face value, but I believe it's 10. But I believe if you want to find Atlantis, the actual capital city, stop hunting for the capital city and start looking for the other 9 kingdoms. I can tell you where one is, because if you read the tale, Plato heard the story that was passed down from his ancestor Solon, who had went to Egypt and heard it from the Egyptian priests. And the story goes that the priest told him is that the survivors of Atlantis came to Egypt. Now, why would they come to Egypt? Because they already had a colony there. They already had another kingdom. Egypt was one of them. So yeah, that was one of them. Canary Islands was another one. Now, some people say the Azores is the location of Atlantis. I don't believe that. I believe it was another one of their colonies, another one of their kingdoms. I believe there may have been one in France. There may have been one in Spain. I said the Azores was another one. So let's see. Egypt, Canary Islands, Azores, Spain, possibly France, Turkey maybe. That's 7. There's another one in, I believe it's what's called Mauritania. So that would be 8, so there's 2 more. My belief is if you find the other 7 to 9 kingdoms, you'll find the main capital. Me personally, I think we already know where it's at, and we've already seen it. Yeah, it's in the middle of the Sahara Desert. It's called the Rikat structure, or the Eye of Sahara by some people. Yeah, I've heard it say that it's an ancient impact crater, or it's an ancient volcano caldera that collapsed. Okay, I can agree with that. It could be one of the two. But who's to say that the ancient Atlanteans didn't build their city on top of it before it collapsed? Hence the rings. Just saying. Yeah. And if you look at a view of Egypt from space, look at the Sahara Desert. Look at the part where the Rikat structure is. And honestly, it looks like a big, huge tidal wave just came up and just swaddled the land and wiped everything clean. Look at it. Look at some of the, the space views from space of it. It looks like a huge wall of water come up on land and swept everything back out to sea. So really, in all honesty, you're not going to find any structures on the Recot structure because it's already wiped the slate clean except for the rings. And look at the pictures of the Recot structure. You can tell where there were once rivers flowing into those rings. But until someone goes out there and actually does some kind of research on it, we'll never know for sure. Yeah, mainstream science. Yeah. It's gonna have to be, amateurs and independents that do it. Mainstream ain't gonna do shit that they don't want to do, because it violates their prime directive. Do I believe that ancient aliens came down here and screwed with ancient humans' DNA and created us? No, I don't. What I do believe is that if ancient aliens or extraterrestrials did come here, they didn't come here to mess with our DNA. They came here, they saw an already evolved species who is already in the process of discovering how to use stone tools, who decided, here's an intelligent species, primitive, but they show some sign of intelligence. How about we help their development along? So they come down, they teach us new things. They don't give us new things, they teach us. They teach us how to make our own technology to build some of the things that we see in the world. They taught us how to make our own technology to build the Great Pyramids, both in Egypt and in Mexico. They taught us how to develop technology to build some of the great monuments of the world. Still are unexplained how they did some of this, but we built it. They just taught us how. They didn't give us anything. They didn't mess with our DNA. They didn't give us no technology. They taught us how to develop our own technology. And I believe that a ancient civilization of humans had a technology different than what we have today. Obviously they did. How else were they able to do some of the things they did? You can't tell me it was all with ropes and pulleys and wooden rollers. Some of them blocks are too heavy for them wooden rollers. They weigh massive tons, and yeah. I can partly tell you how the Egyptians got some of the blocks to the construction site. The Nile River was a lot closer to the pyramids than what it is today. A lot closer. So they were able to ship the blocks by boat to the site from the quarries. Question is how they get them into the boat and off of the boat and into place. That's the big question. That one I can't tell you about. I don't know. These are just a few of the things that, I like to talk about. And I can't talk about that here in my hometown with some of these people. And you guys that are listening, y'all know this. This is just stuff y'all don't like to talk about. I do because it interests me. I've always heard if you're going to do a podcast, do it based on something you like, something that interests you. So that's what I wanted to do. And as I said, these are just some of the things that I believe in. And coming from me, they might sound a little far-fetched, a little crazy, like, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't want to listen to this guy no more. He's a complete nutcase. That's fine. Nowhere on my birth certificate does it claim my mental status, so... I just believe there is more to the world than what meets the eye. Some of this stuff makes sense, some of it doesn't. And for people like me who want to talk about these kind of things and want to have discussions or want to remain anonymous and have me read their questions and all that on my show via email or whatnot, that's fine. That's what the podcast is for. I want to bring your stories to the world. I want to have these discussions because frankly, I'm tired of sitting around not being able to talk about things I want to talk about, like Atlantis, like the possibility of ancient aliens teaching, or ancient extraterrestrials teaching us how to do things on our own. About lost technology, lost knowledge, lost ages, the age of the dinosaurs, stuff like that. What really happened to Julius Caesar? What really happened to the lost Roman legion? Stuff like that. Stuff that I really don't talk about here on YouTube because, like I said, I save YouTube for my gameplay channels, and I do all this other talk on the Spotify and on iHeartRadio and iTunes and wherever you get your podcasts. I try to keep the two separate, but like I said, I get it. Some of you don't listen to Spotify, some of you don't listen to all the places you get your podcasts. You're primarily YouTube. So, if these are some of the things you want to hear me talk about here on YouTube, all you gotta do is comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you think. I will try to adjust my YouTube channel accordingly. Maybe every now and then I will come on here and talk about these things, but primarily I want to make it clear again. The YouTube channel is for my gameplay. I'm not always going to be talking about these other things here on this channel. As it being something, my ears are burning, even though I haven't uploaded this video at this time yet, but my ears are already burning and I already hear some of the comments. Some of this is probably not what you guys are wanting to hear. You're just interested in the gameplay videos. But like I said, I have some people where I live who don't listen to the major podcasting platforms, so I have to do a little explanation as to what my other half of my show is. Normally I would not do this. I would just say, look, I've got other episodes that just say what the other part of the podcast is about. But obviously I didn't go into enough detail for some people, so thought I'd clarify some things. Like I said, I'm not a fruitcake, I'm not a nut. Just some of the things that interest me. Look, I've got paranormal stories I could tell you. Not going to do it at the moment because I've already explained, some of the stuff I like to talk about, and I'm probably going to get some pretty heated comments about the whole God thing at the beginning of this, but that's what I believe. God is being a parent, and He's trying to teach us tough love and trying to teach us, hey, it's our mess. It's your mess. You clean it up. I didn't cause it. I didn't create it. It's your responsibility, not mine. You're my children. I love you. I will always be there for you, but there are some problems you must solve on your own. I can't do everything for you, is what he's trying to tell us. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope those of you who have asked me to go more in depth about my podcast now understand about some of the things I would like to talk about. But as I said, being that you here in my hometown where I live, don't really like to talk about these sort of things, is the reason why I keep it off of YouTube and I keep it on the other platforms. So let me know what you think in the comment box. I will try to adjust the channel accordingly. I'm not going to make too many big changes to this because, like I said, YouTube, primarily gameplay. Spotify, iHeart, other platforms, unless it's requested by you, the viewer, here on YouTube. Then if you request it in the comments, I will do a video. You know, if I lose some viewers, so be it. If I gain some viewers, okay. That's good. But it's up to you. You asked me to do a video explaining what the podcast is about. I've done that. There you go. I'm not trying to be mean or nasty about it. Just trying to say you got what you asked for. Take it or leave it. Thank you very much. Appreciated. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I did not bore you all to death. Those of you who are my normal listeners and subscribers. But I had to get that out of the way. It's been bugging me for the last couple of days, ever since they started asking me. So be it. I'll run the gauntlet. I'll frighten people's hair white with my discussions. I will scare small children into tears with the words that I just spoken earlier. No, I'm not going to do that. It would be mean and cruel to make a child cry. And what I discussed on my podcast is not anything to make children cry. That was a bad joke, and I apologize for it. I do not condone, violence against children. I really don't. Well, you don't condone it, but God lets it happen. No. God doesn't let it happen. We let it happen. Let's back that up and rephrase that. We let it happen. It was a human being that did it, and it's human beings that let him get away with it, especially in today's age. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know I bored some of you to death. I probably pissed some of you off. Sorry, I did not mean to, but I had to clarify it for some people who just don't get it. There is a more in-depth view for you guys as to what I talk about. And like I said, it's stuff that you guys don't like to talk about. So let me know in the comments what you think. Should I just let YouTube just be gameplay, or should I talk about some of this stuff every now and then? I'll let anybody comment. No problem. But you guys who have asked me, why do I have a feeling none of you are going to comment after this? Go for it. Leave a comment. Sure, talk about more of it on your channel. put us to sleep. Put our children to sleep. You'll be a good storyteller for our children. Yeah, sure. Their hair will probably turn white. I hope that satisfies your curiosity. Now I would like to get back to my gameplay, but I'm not going to do it in this video because I'm still working on some stuff in my Skyrim. Plus, I plan on doing another gameplay showcase of PlanetSide 2, just to show you guys some more of the game, because I know I didn't go through everything and explain everything. I did a rush job in my view, but hey, I've gotten some comments that say, hey, good job. Thank you guys, very much appreciated, Echo. Oh, and Echo, I have something I want to mention. Is it this one? Where is it? I'm not for sure if it's this one. No, I think it's a different one. Anyway, let me find it right quick. Because I've found something out I didn't realize about you, Echo. I just happened to notice it the other day. Well, now, this isn't right. Not all Cyan's mods are on here. Well, I know they're not all on here because there was one I just downloaded the other day that should have been on here that's not on here. It just happens to be version 14 of this one, I believe. This is not the one I was looking for. But as you just saw, it's not displaying all of Cyan 49's mods in the list. Didn't want to go this long, but I guess I'm gonna have to. There is something I wanted to point out. Now I'm on a mission. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We're trying to find this thing. So, yeah, here we are. I didn't know you did recolored work for Cyan 49. And right there it is. Thanks to Echo One Eyes Only for helping me primarily with the Saints and Seducers part of the recolored replica mod. I can say he is doing half of my recolor work. You surprised me yet again, Echo. I didn't know you did that kind of thing. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I know I had to put two videos into one, but that's the explanation as to why. I keep my podcast separate, and why I want to talk about some of the things I want to talk about off YouTube. But for some of those who don't get all the other platforms, I guess every now and then I'll sneak a video in there if you want me to. But you gotta comment down below. So until next time, guys, peace.